Welcome to Live Trade Videos, your one-stop YouTube channel for all things related to forex trading, indices trading, and commodities trading. Okay, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends because we have a whole lot of valuable educational content that you can make use of and make profits daily. So today we're going to be, I think in one of our videos, a, a, um, a subscriber asked for this strategy, for us to do a video on this particular strategy. So here you have it. Okay. So we are going to be breaking down this strategy, and then we are going to be trying to trade different instruments or trying to mark up different instruments with the strategy and see how that goes. Okay, so what we are going to try to do is to trade different instruments or mark up different instruments and look out areas where we should likely be buying or selling. Okay, look out areas where we should likely be buying or selling from. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when it comes to this strategy is you want to first of all know what your trend is. So the first thing I do when I come out, today is Saturday, so the charts are not really moving, but we can still do something. We can still do something here. Probably do like maybe another video be on a weekday, but we can just this should be like the part one. Now, basically, what you want to do now, this chart is from the past week, this week that just passed, right? So what you would want to do first of all is to clean up your chart. So I'll clean up my chart, just basically set up like just a naked chart. I click on refresh, a naked chart without um any indicators, anything, like just clean it up, right? Now I have my stochastic RSI VIP indicator, which is this one, Stoch Strategy, right? So this is an indicator that I practically use it. If you check all of my charts, you would see it's just basically there. I can't really do anything without this indicator. It's almost like I'm paralyzed without it. Okay, so this is basically what I use. Look at it, it's everywhere. It's in every chart. Okay, it's in every chart. Now we are talking about US 100 today, right? Sorry, we are starting with US 2000. Now, what I do, or the first thing you want to do when it comes to this strategy, is to identify the trend. You want to know what the trend is saying, and you want to trade in the direction of the trend. Okay. Sometimes I click on all of the time frames to make sure that everything is well, my chart is clean. Okay, so you see I've cleaned up my chart. It's looking clean and it's looking neat. Okay, now like I said, the first thing you want to do is to look at the chart. Now I want us to understand that the way you look at the chart is very important, or the way you interpret the chart. Some of us don't want to, if you were to show me your computer, I'll probably be seeing something like this. Now, you can't really look at the chart properly like this. You can't really know what's going on because you don't have like a bird's eye view of what is actually going on in the chart. You need to look at the chart in a proper way. You need to look at the chart in a proper way so that you can be able to see things clearly the way you are supposed to see things. Okay, so normally what I will do is to zoom out, so that I can see more of the charts. Probably come to see more of what is happening from the past, right? I'm seeing more of my chart. I don't have the market watch window pane open. I don't have my terminal open. I don't have my navigator open because this these windows tend to what do you call it, tends to take up your chart space, right? And once that happens, you can't really do much because it's taking, it's taking too much of um of your chart space. So what you want to do is take them out. Take them out, okay? Take them out so that you can have proper you can view the chart properly. Now the first thing I want to do, like I said, now I'm working with two time frames. I'm working with the 1 hour time frame. I'm also working with the 15 minutes towards time frame. Sometimes I go to the 4 hours, but that is like, let's say, 1% of the time, and there's a reason for that. Now I'm working with the 1 hour time frame, and I'm also working with the 15 minutes towards time frame. Now the 1 hour time frame, I use the 1 hour time frame to identify the trend. I want to know what the trend is. Is it an uptrend or is it a what? A downtrend, right? Now, if I can establish that the trend is a downtrend, then I know I'm looking for what? Sells. If the trend is an uptrend, then I know I'm looking for what? For buys, right? So, like I said, if the trend is an uptrend, you know you are looking for what? For buys. Now, basically, let me explain something to us. This is how the market is, in case you don't know. This is basically how this market is, right? Or how you should be looking at the chart. If it's an uptrend, this is how an uptrend structure looks like. So there's an impulse, there's a bit of a retracement. Now this impulse is going to form, this impulse is like price, right? So price was going up, then price went to this highest point before it started what? Coming down. So this high point is the highest price that this price movement got to before it started coming down. So it came down to this low price before it started going back higher to another high price. So this is what we call an impulse. So this is an impulse. I'm trying to give you the structure of an uptrend. This is how the structure of an uptrend looks like, right? So it goes up, forms this high, then it went down to form a low. It went up to this highest price. It could not go further. It was rejected. Probably there was, whenever price whenever price is moving up and it goes to a particular place or a particular price point and it starts going down from there, it means that there is a resistance around there. It is only a resistance that will make price go down. Like there's a resistance here. You can see how this price went up, but was rejected at this resistance, and then it started coming what? Down. Now price is going up again, and it seems like there's a sort of resistance around here that might make it to go backwards down. Okay. Now on this uptrend, this is you have impulse and retracement, both for an uptrend and also for a downtrend, right? So it goes up, there is a kind of resistance that is blocking it from going further up. Then it comes down to this low price, then it goes up again to this high price. Price cannot keep going up forever. Something is going to, at a point, is going to come down, and price cannot keep going down forever. At a point, it's also going to do what? Come up. Okay, so there's an impulse, price goes up, meets this resistance, goes down. It cannot keep it was not able to go below this price. Now it has been pushed up again to this new high, right? Now there's a new high which is higher than the previous one. Price cannot keep going up, it has to at a point go down. So it goes down, there's a little bit of a retracement, right? It keeps going down. It could not really go down, then there's a kind of support here that pushes the price up again, right? It starts going up. It cannot go up for long, and then at this point, it is being rejected by resistance, and then it goes down again. Can you see? Look at how price, look at this price attempted to go up, but it got to this high point. This is a high. This is what we call high. In candlestick patterns, we have what we call highs and what and lows. What high basically means is the highest price that was gotten to before the price came down. It's like, let's say for pure water now, for example. Pure water, what is the highest price for those of us who live in Nigeria? We know that the highest price, I think pure water has gotten to maybe 30 naira. The highest price that pure water has gotten to in any part of Nigeria is probably 30 naira. That is one sachet of pure water. So that is like a high price. And the lowest price that one sachet of pure water has sold for is 5 naira. It has never sold below 5 naira. So that means 30 naira is like the highest price that pure water has gotten to, while 5 naira is like the lowest price that pure water has gotten to. That's highs and what and lows. That is how price moves. Price basically moves like this. Go and check. Price is going to go up. It will get to a particular high price. If it cannot go below that high price, it will only come down. But it might not come down to a very low price, like to the lowest price that it got to. Okay, let me use, let's say, fuel. Let's say the price of fuel in Nigeria. Let's say the price of fuel. Let's say in 1960, fuel, the very first time they started selling fuel started at 1 naira, right? So it starts at 1 naira here, right? Then maybe something happened, there was riot, whatever. Maybe some petrol stations were burned. Then price of fuel went to 7 naira, right? Went to 7 naira. Then maybe the crisis was resolved and the price maybe probably went down from 7 naira to maybe like 3 naira, It does not necessarily have to go below the 1 naira that it was before. But at least a reduction from 7 naira to 3 naira is good, because it was 1 naira before, then it went to 7 naira. Now it has come down to 3 naira. It's good. That's good, right? Then maybe over the weeks or days or months, something happened, there was another fight, whatever, and then the price moved up from 3 naira to maybe like 10 naira. That's another issue, right? That's another issue. That is another issue. So that is just basically how price. So it moves to 10 naira. Then from 10 naira, it will maybe move down to maybe 5 naira. From 5 naira, move to maybe 12 naira. From 12 naira, maybe to 10 naira. That is just how that is how price moves. Check it. Check the price of anything that you know. Price does not go up in a straight line. At a point, price has to come down. It might go up again, even higher than it was before, but it has to come down for it to go up. That is an uptrend. And for a downtrend, price has to go down for it to go up, then go down again for it to maybe go up a bit, then go back down, go up just a bit, go back down. If you look at what happened with the Naira, recently the Naira was at 400 and something dollars to a Naira. Then it moved up to about 620. It moved up to about 700 and something. Then moved up to about 930. Then it came down to 800 and something. Probably came down to 750. It might still go back up. Okay, so that is how the market moves. This is how price moves. The basic, how does price move basically? Even if you did not see this chart, how does price move? So basically moves like this. Okay, this is how price moves. If price is moving up, this is how it moves in real life. And if price is moving down, this is how it also moves. To come down, there'll be a slight retracement. So it has come down from this high. This is the highest point that it reached before it started coming down. It has come to this low price, then it moved again a bit high, but you will notice that even though it moved high, this high could not go above the previous high price. This current high price could not go above the previous high price before it started coming back down to a low price, which is lower than the previous low price that it got to, right? Then it attempted, like I said, price cannot just be going down at a point. It will have to, there has to be a pullback or a retracement. So price has gone a bit high, trying to go high, but it was unable to do what? The price was unable to go higher than the previous high. This current high price was unable to go higher than the previous high price before it started coming what? Down again. This is exactly how price moves. Exactly. Go and check the price of whether it is fish or shoes or suits. Price, even if price is going to go up, at a point something will make it go down a bit. It might not necessarily go down to the price it started from, to the lowest price it started from, or to the highest price it started from, but you would see some measure of up and down movement when it comes to what? Price of anything. Okay, so we should understand trend. Now this is an uptrend. This is an uptrend. An uptrend is a series of what? Higher highs and what? Higher what? Lows. An uptrend is a series of higher highs. This is a high, another high, another high, another high. You can see that the highs are getting, this is high. This high is higher than the previous one. This high is higher than this one. This high is higher than these three below it. And it just keeps on, going up like that until it gets to a very strong resistance region where price cannot keep going higher, and then price starts to come down. You can see, so from this high price, there's another high here, there's another one here, there's another one here, but you can see for yourself that these highs are now becoming lower than the ones before them. This is a high, but this high price is lower than the previous high price. This high price is lower than this previous high price. This high price lower than this previous high price, and this high price as well also lower than the previous one. And you can see it playing out in our charts. I'm going to use our charts to, you will see it playing out in our charts. Okay, you see it playing out in our charts. Now let me show us the chart and let us see. Now look at this chart, for example. You can clearly see, look at it, it's clear as look at it, very, very clear. I'm going to show it to us now. Look, just look at this, right? So this is like a high. Now price went down to this low. Let me see if I can use hold on, let me see if I can use another type of candlestick pattern. Let me use a line and see. Nice. I think this might help. So this is the highest price, right? Price got to this low, went up here, came down, went up, came down, went up, came. You can see how price is moving. This is price. This is price. This is basically price for you. So price came down. It was at this high price, then it came down to this low price, came up here, came down here, came up a bit, came down again, came up, came down, came up, came down. But you can see that this up and down movement of price is in a certain what direction. And what direction is it? It is in a what? It is in a downward direction. I'm taking my time to explain trend here. This is a downward direction, right? You can see that this is an uptrend. You can see the price going up in an upward what direction. Even though on that journey, the price is doing something like this. But on that journey, it's what? Going what? Up. This one is going down, but you can see it doing something like this. So sometimes it goes up, comes down, but that up and down journey is in a particular what direction. It is in a what particular direction. Let me go back to the candlesticks so that you can see the green and red lines. Now look at this 4-hour time frame. Look at this 4-hour time frame. Now look at what's happening here. So you can see this is price from this high, right? It goes down to this low price. From this low price, what happens? You see it going up to this high price. Then from this high price, what happened? You saw it come down here, come down, go up a bit here, came down here to this low price, then it went up to this high price, then it came down again here, then it went up to this high price, then it came down here, went up to this high price, came down to this low price, went up again to this high price. This is how price moves. Price of anything. Think of anything that you can attach price to. Anything that you can buy, anything that you can sell. Price does not move in a straight line, whether it is upwards or whether it is what? Downwards. Never. It's impossible for price to move like this. Price will always move like this. That is how price will always move. That is basically how price moves. It never moves in a what? In a straight line, right? So you can see another retracement here. It has gone down to form this to this price, which is low. Then it has gone up again to this point, which is high. It goes down going to this lowest price, could not go lower than that price. Then it went up to this high price, could not go higher than that price. Then it went down again to this low price. Then it went down again to this low price, could not go higher than it, went up again to this high price, could not go higher than it. You can see that those highs, you can see that there's always like a resistance. You can see this resistance is here. You can see this resistance, this one, blocking the price from going further up. Then it went down to this low price, could not go lower than that. Then it went high to this place, could not go higher than that. Then it went down to this point, could not go lower than that. Then it went high to this place, could not go higher than that. Then it went down to this lower price, could not go lower than that. Then it went to this here, not there, right? Went low to this place, could not go. Then now it is currently at this high place, or that high price. You can see how we were able to carve out this trend. So what I want you to do is to look at the market in the right way. You need to interpret the market correctly. You need to see it correctly. You know, it's like when people are having arguments or misunderstanding. Sometimes people can offend you because they are looking at what has happened from a wrong perspective. If you are looking at the chart from a wrong point of view, from an incorrect point of view, you'll not be able to see what I just showed you. And that will also affect the way you trade. If you were looking at this chart like this, or some of us that say we trade on 5 minutes, if you're looking at it like this, you might not even know what's going on. You will not even know that this trend is a downtrend. You just be trading aimlessly, like someone who is going on a journey but does not even know the direction that he or she should be taking. Okay, so that's I just showed us. So you want to be looking at your trend from higher time frame, let's say from 1 hour, from the 4 hours, from the daily time frame, and you want to try and make sense of the structure. When you are looking at the chart, this is what you are trying to find out. This is what you want to see. When you are looking at an uptrend, this is what you want to see. You want to look at the trend like this. That is what you are trying to check. This is what you are looking for. This is your mission. This is your objective. Is the chart looking like this? If it is looking like this, I am looking for a what? Buy. When am I looking for that buy? I want the chart to probably retrace a bit. Then at this point, I want to look to enter my what? Buy. So these are the areas where you want to be entering your buys on an uptrend, right? You want to be entering your buys at the beginning of an impulse. And then on a downtrend, this is an impulse, right? The impulse started from here. There was a retracement, another impulse, retracement, impulse, retracement, impulse, retracement, impulse, retracement, impulse, retracement, impulse. You want to be entering yourselves from here. This is where you want to be entering yourselves from. You want to be entering yourselves from here. There is a rule in trading that says sell high, buy low. These is a high, these are lows, low, 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 low. These are highs, highs, highs. You want to be selling at the highs and buying at the what? At the lows. This is a high. This is another high. This is another high. Another high. Another high. Another high. This is a high that is just forming. These are the areas where you want to be what? Selling. These are the areas where you want to be what? Selling. Right? Sell high, buy low. You want to be selling after there's an impulse, then there's a retracement. You want to be selling at the beginning of the next impulse. And you will see that there's always like a look at resistance, 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 resistance. Here you'll be seeing like support. Can you see supports? Look at, you want to be buying at the areas of this support. You want to be buying at the what? Supports. Here you can see this is a low, this is another low, this is another low, this is another low. You want to be this is a low, another one, another one, another low, another low, another low. So you want to be buying you want to buy low and you want to sell what? High. If you can do that, you are going to be making money consistently. So I think I've been able to explain trend as much as I can with all these illustrations. Now what I want to do now is to go to the chart and then try and make sense of what is happening and try and see what direction I want to be trading in. Now, like I said, I am working with the 1 hour and what 15 minutes what time frame, right? I'm working with the 1 hour and the 15 minutes time frame. Look at, if at a glance, if you look at this chart at a glance, you can see, you can clearly see. Look at, you can see how the candle keeps, how the trend keeps going down, right? High, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. You can see. So if I was to draw like a trend line, I could probably link. So what you want to do, after you have drawn your chart, you want to now try and link your trend lines, or sorry, your highs. If it's on a downtrend, if it's on an uptrend, you want to try and link your lows. Now you don't have to link. The trend line does not have to go through all the lows or go through all the highs. No, it does not have to do that. Okay, knowing how to draw these trend lines is very important. It's very, very important. So now what I want to do now is I want to mark up my chart based on this strategy and then look out for areas where I would likely place a trade. Now, this is US 2000 on 1 hour. Now, I'm going to be using a couple of tools. I'm going to be using my support and resistance. So these are the tools I'm going to be using to help me know where to buy or where to sell. I'm going to be using my support and resistance indicator, right? I have a support and resistance indicator that helps me bring out all these resistances and supports that you see here. They are automatic. I don't draw them, they are automatically drawn. And that is because I have a support and resistance. This is it here. I have a support and resistance indicator with, if I was to delete this indicator, if I was to delete this, you would not see these lines anymore. That means I'll have to start drawing them manually by myself. And I don't have I don't like to draw support and resistance lines manually, because when you are drawing it manually, you can miss some things. Because when I'm these support and resistance indicators, if I was to draw this resistance here, for example, if I go to 15 minutes, I know that what I drew, this particular resistance line that I drew, 1887, I drew it from 1 hour here, and I can trace it back to 15 minutes. And you can see that on 1 hour there's a resistance, on 15 minutes there's also a resistance. Some of us might prefer to draw manual resistance and support. If that is you, fine. But for me, I like to draw them. I like to have I already have a support and resistance indicator, and so I use that. So I use support and resistance indicator, number one. Number two, I use trend lines. Right? I use trend lines. Number I use Fibonacci. I use Fibonacci as well, although not all the time. Sometimes if I want to confirm, if I want like a double confirmation of maybe where I want to buy or where I want to sell, I use Fibonacci. Then I use my RSI. I use my RSI. I use my RSI too. And I also use my stochastic RSI as well. So let me come again with what I use. I say I use my support and resistance indicators, which automatically draws support and resistance level, my chart. Then I use trend lines. Oh, I didn't add moving average. I use trend lines, number 2. I use trend lines, number 2. Number 3, I use my moving average. I use my moving average. I use my moving average. Then, so I've mentioned support and resistance. I've mentioned trend line. I've mentioned my moving average, right? Moving average. Um, moving average. I use my RSI and I use my stochastic RSI. So I'm going to now I want to place a trade and know where I'm likely to what to buy or sell. So the first thing I want to do is I want to know what the trend is. What trend am I in currently? Now, for me to know the trend that I'm in, I use my RSI, right? Currently, my RSI is above 50 on 1 hour, but it's below 50 on 4 hours. Well, like I said, I use my 1 hour. Now it's below 50 on my 4 hours, and it is above 50 on my 1 hour. I am using 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I am using 1 hour to identify my trend. Then I'm using 15 minutes to enter my trade. Okay. I'm using 15 minutes to enter my trades. I'm using 1 hour to identify my trend. Now, the thing about right now, this is a bit tricky. If you really want to have good entry positions, it's always better when your RSI is considerably when it is considerably above 50, like this, like this. Just like here now, for example, you can see how your RSI is considerably below 50 here, right? It's below 50 here. Now let me show you what if it is considerably below 50, it's good for you. It's actually good for you because um you'll be able to identify the trend better, right? You'll be able to identify the trend better, right? Okay. Um now let on 1 hour, this particular trend started this. I want to show us this downtrend because price is currently on an uptrend. I want to show us the previous downtrend, that is from here. This downtrend started from here. This was the point where the RSI went below 50, and this was the point where the RSI went above 50. So from here all the way here, here was a downtrend. So this uptrend is just starting, right? Now I was saying that if you have this is an uptrend, right? If you have more of the RSI above 50 on the 1 hour time frame, which is the time frame I'm using to identify the trend. I'm only using the 1 hour time frame to identify the trend. I'm not placing my trades from the 1 hour time frame. I'm placing my trades from the 15 minutes time frame. If I was using the 4 hours to identify my trend, I'll be placing my trades on the 1 hour time frame. But because I am using the 1 hour time frame to identify trend, I am placing my trades on the what? On the 15 minutes what? Time frame. I hope we understand, okay? Now, I want to try and make sense of this previous downtrend, right? Like I said, the one that started from here, from here, from here to this point where it's there going up, right? Okay. So I'm going to draw like a vertical line to show us where that trend started from here, somewhere here, right? And it ended here. It ended here, somewhere here, right? So basically, this trend started from here and it ended here. It could also have started from here as well, from here too, and also from here as well, because you can see that at this point price touched 50 here, price also touched 50 here and bounced off it, right? Bounced off it as well. So I can draw a trend line. I can draw a trend line. I can draw a trend line from here to here. I can also draw another trend line from here to here. Meaning from here now, there is a high here, right? I can draw a trend line from this high to this next one here, which is from where this place went below 50 to this point here. I am linking, there's a high here, there's a high here, there's a high here, somewhere here, to this high here. Let me to this high here. Let me zoom in so that you can see it. Right? You can see it, right? Hope we can see it. You can see that price came down from here. You can see that price came down from here because the retracement came down, retracement came down, then it came down. Because I am increasing the chart, let me reduce it. Let me reduce it so that we don't stay with me. Right? If I reduce it, you will see that price came down, went up a bit, and came down, went up a bit, came down, went up, came down. It's going up right now. Okay? So I could draw that from this high to this high. I can probably still extend it to this next high. Right? So it could be like the trend started from here, right, to this point, which was this next high, to this next one here. Can you see it? At points where the RSI is, so the trend was downwards, then it attempted to start going up to go above 50, which would have been like the start of an uptrend, but it was pushed down for the trend to still continue downwards, right? That's, you can see what happened. Trend was going down, then at some point instead of trying to go up, but at this it met a resistance at this untested resistance level, and then it pushed down, tried to start going up again to start to form a kind of uptrend, which is what was happening here, trying to go up. At this point, the price met a resistance and the downtrend was continued. Right? Now, this is where this here, at this point here, somewhere here, if I draw this line, if I draw it, you would see that this was the point where the downtrend started changing to an uptrend, somewhere around here. Okay, you can see that. So we are currently in what? An uptrend, but there seems to be a kind of rejection. So this is kind of dicey. Now, if I was to draw this, I'm in an uptrend. This uptrend started from here, right? From here. Now, there are two ways you can identify the trend. Sometimes, most times, I use my RSI to identify my trend. Sometimes the RSI just tells me that, okay, since the RSI is above 50, it's an uptrend. Now you want to link your words. On an uptrend, I want to link my lows, right? This is an impulse, a retracement, an impulse, a retracement, an impulse. Now, if you can see what is happening here, It's like an impulse has just formed here right now. An impulse has just formed. It has gotten to this high price, and from that high price is now like this. That is what is happening right now. So we don't know whether the price might probably come down or probably start going up from here. Maybe to start going up from here, or probably still come down before it goes up. But one thing we know is that the trend is what? Upwards. So my RSI is above 50, clearly telling me that the trend is what? Upwards. Now, I want to link the lows. This was the lowest price. This was the price has been coming down from here, right? Coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down. Now price got to this lowest price. This is the lowest price that price got to. Here, this point, this is the lowest price that it got to. It got to this lowest price, right? And then before it started coming up. So from that low price, it has gone up to where? To this high price here. Right? From that low price, it has gone up to what? To this high price. Right? From that lowest price, that's gone up. And now from that high price, it is now coming down. This is currently where we are now. So it's either two things happen. If this uptrend is to continue, right, there's a kind of resistance around here. You can see this point where price went, so there's a kind of resistance around here. It's either this price hits this trend line and this resistance. Sorry, there's a resistance here. That resistance was broken around here. Now price is now above that resistance level. So this place used to be a resistance to the left. Now it is a support currently. So it's either price goes up, hits here, and attempts to start going up from here. Now, if it starts to do that, remember this is on 1 hour. You want to be looking at this place on 15 minutes. You want to be entering your buy around here if that is what is going to happen on 15 minutes. So it might likely do that and start coming up from where? From that point. Okay? Just might go up to form a new high, which might be rejected by this particular resistance. So you can see that there's a resistance here, right? So it might reject it, then to start going up again, so to keep forming those highs. I hope we are getting what I am saying. I hope we understand what I am saying. Okay, so that is basically what might be looking towards to happen. Now, what are we trying to do here? What are we trying to do here? Now, from my RSI point of view, we are in an uptrend. So this is a low that was formed, this one, and this is currently the recent low, because this is the recent candle. This is the high. This is the highest price that the highest point that price got to before it started coming down, just like here. The highest point that price got to before it started coming down, got the lowest price it got to before it came back to this high price, then came down to this high price. So from this high price it came down to this low price, from this low price to this highest price. Now it's currently here. We don't know whether it will still come back down, but from what we are seeing now, we are working with what we have now. So this is the low, this is a low, this is another low, right? But this low is higher than this current, this previous low. Now I'm in an option. What I'll try to do is to use a trend line to do what? To link this low with what? This one here. Right? I want to do what? Link this low with what? This one, by drawing a trend line to do what? To link them. Now it's possible that this candle might come down below here and start coming up, start attempting. Let's assume this thing comes down here and starts, coming back up. What I'm just going to do basically is to adjust my trend line. As long as this RSI is above 50, I can adjust my trend line. So I'm going to adjust my trend line to now, from here to now, come down, to now go like this. If it comes down further, as long as my RSI has not gone below 50, as long as it is still above and not what's below, I will adjust my trend line again to link. Then if price starts pushing up from here, this is the area where I want to go in for what? A buy. I'm saying this with, so I'm just going to do, I've done a lot of illustration, so I'm just going to do what I want to do now. Now, basically, this is how I will trade this particular instrument. So I'm going to draw my markups. Now, on 1 hour, the closest support to this particular price is here, is this particular verified support. So I'll just use my horizontal line to align with, you can see that these supports are not, it's just from here to, it's just from here. The support is drawn from here to here, or from here to here. It does not really tell you, it does not stretch to the price region to tell you what price this is. That's why I use horizontal lines to help me know the price level. Okay. All right. So I've drawn a support here. Come up here, draw a what? A resistance. So that's the first one. Remember, I am working with what? I am working with support and resistance, number 1. I am working with trend lines, number 2. I am working with moving average, number 3. I am working with Fibonacci loosely. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't use it. It depends on, the scenario, right? Depends on the scenario. It's like a football coach saying that I am playing with this particular formation depending on the opposition. If you are playing with a team that, if your opposition team is a team that knows how to hold the ball, they are very good in possession, let's say like your Man City or your Barcelona, you might have to change your tactics a little bit. So you can allow them have the ball while you defend in numbers and try to counter very fast, because you know that they will always hold the ball. So depending on the scenario, you might have to change your tactics a little bit. So sometimes, depending on the scenario, depending on how the chart is, I might bring in my Fibonacci. Sometimes I might just leave it. Okay. All right. So right now the trend is up, is an uptrend. But if you look at my RSI is kind of, tilting towards the 50. Like it's kind of going towards the 50. Let me not digress. So let me just talk about what I'm using. I'm using my support and resistance. I'm using my moving average. I'm using my my trend line. I'm using my Fibonacci. I'm using my RSI. I'm using my RSI, which is what we have here. RSI above 50 on 1 hour, you're looking for buys. Below 50 on 1 hour, you're looking for sells. If your RSI is above 50 on 1 hour, you go to 15 minutes to look out for buys. If your RSI is below 50 on 1 hour, you go to 15 minutes to look out for what? For sells. Okay. All right. So what are we talking about now? Like I was saying, support and resistance, moving average, trend line, Fibonacci, RSI, and stochastic what RSI. Those are the tools that I'll be using to know where I am likely to enter my trade. Okay, now from what I'm seeing here, it's showing that it's an uptrend, right? Because you can even see that this particular high, this particular high has gone above this one here. So normally this stuff was going like this, right? Going like this. This high was not supposed to go above. It was supposed to just go no, like this, right? This was not supposed to go higher than this. It was supposed to be something like this. It was supposed to be something like this. Just a little bit. It was not supposed to go higher than this previous high, because for this downtrend to continue, the previous high must be lower than the current high, right? So it was supposed to just maybe go a bit high, then come down, but never go below. Then the next one will go up just a bit, then come down. As long as this keeps happening, then the downtrend is okay. But you can see that this high, this current high, went above this previous high to tell us that, you know, the trend has what changed. Okay, that is what happened. So you can see instead of coming down, it now went above and is currently like this, right? That is what is happening in the chart right now. So obviously we are in an uptrend. So what you're actually expecting is for the trend to go down, then start coming up like this, for that uptrend that is starting currently to continue. You know, the trend was here, right? This is where it was. So what for this uptrend, this is like the starting of an uptrend. Here now is the start of an uptrend. But for that uptrend to continue, this has to happen. Go down a bit, then start coming up to form higher what? Lows. Higher lows and higher highs. Higher lows and higher highs. Look at this is a high. This is a downtrend. Sorry, hold on. Higher lows and higher highs is what? An uptrend. While lower lows and lower highs is what? A downtrend. Look at this downtrend, right? This is a high. This is a high. This is another high. This is the first high, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one. As you can see, this is the first low, second low, third low, fourth low, and fifth one. You can see that a series of higher highs and higher lows, a series of higher highs and higher lows will always give us an uptrend, while a series of lower highs and lower lows will always give us a what? A downtrend. Okay, right, so let me continue. All right, so I've drawn, the first thing I do is to draw the closest resistance and the closest support.